Welcome to Money Making Conversations. It's the show that shares the secrets of success, experienced firsthand by marketing and branding expert Rushion McDonald. I will know he's given me advice on many occasions, and in case you didn't notice, I'm not broke. You know he'll be interviewing celebrity CEOs, entrepreneurs, and industry decision makers. It's what he likes to do. It's what he likes to share. Now it's time to hear from my man, Rushion McDonald. Money Making Conversations. Here we go.
Thank you, Stephen A. Welcome to Money Making Conversations. I am your host, Rushion McDonald. I recognize that we all have different definitions of success. For some, it's a sizable paycheck. Mine is helping people wake up and inspiring them to accomplish their goals and live their very best life. These are my passions. That's what I'm going to do for you. I want you to stop tripping over small challenges and prepare to rise above the bigger obstacles that life will present to you. That's why I created Money Making Conversations. It's free. People who come on this podcast, they share their stories. Like my next guest, Dr. Carla Tillman. That's right. She's the National Director of the Shop Black Network Campaign. Hear me? The National Director of the Shop Black Network Campaign, the historical community campaign slated to infuse hundreds of millions into the Black community in a 1 week period. I have on the show because we need everybody, not just Rushion McDonald, everybody who listens to Money Making Conversations, everybody who follows me in my particular platform, because she's everywhere. I'm just one of the extensions that she's using to promote this event that ends on Black Friday. It's November 20th. It ends on November 27th. Please welcome to Money Making Conversations for the very first time, but not the last time, Dr. Carla Tillman.
Thank you for having me on.
How you doing, Ms. Tillman?
I am a little overwhelmed because, as you mentioned, tomorrow is the day in which Shop Black Week starts, which is 1 week where we're asking every American, no matter who you are, right, old or young, Black, white, Asian, Latino, if you would spend at least $35 with an African-American business, with the way we calculated, if just 10% of the people participated, we could infuse at least $500 million into the Black community in 1 week.
Wow. When you say, let's talk about what is the Black community, because, not all Black businesses are in Black communities. So when you say the Black community, are you saying referencing the Black household or the Black community meaning the Black neighborhood?
Actually, I mean both, because a lot of the Black businesses are in the Black communities, but I also mean large and small businesses alike. So any Black business, any definition of a Black business is at least 51% owned by a Black business owner. And so we would like that to be our definition.
So Dr. Tillman, where are you located at?
We're a national campaign. But
where are you located at? Headquarters.
I am personally located right now in Dallas, Texas.
Dallas, Texas. I'm a Houston, Texas, so I can feel a certain amount of comfort and kinship. Even though you're 45 north, 240 miles from Houston, Texas, and that's hot Dallas. Yes. So the thing about it, I've spent a lot of time in Dallas, and Steve Harvey was based there before he went to LA, and so we used to go back and forth and do comedy shows there. Looking at the Black population, Black people have always contributed into entertainment dollars. They've always supported entertainment. Yes. Now you're making a shift saying not only support Black entertainment, but actually support Black entrepreneurs. What made you and what compelled you to develop this campaign?
Well, as you mentioned, one of the things I did notice, and just to give a little history lesson, when BET started, Black entertainers even was not considered equal to, or even athletes was not considered equal to. And so what happened was BET gave it a platform in which you got used to seeing Black entertainers on television and Black athletes on television. So now they're considered mainstream, and it's normal to consider an athlete or a entertainer equal to anyone else. Right. But when it comes to businesses, we still have that stigma that we are not equal to. And so even when you talk to African American with Black people, when you talk to Black people and they go to a Black business, they look at it as a special experience as opposed to something normal, because we haven't normalized supporting Black business the way we have supporting Black entertainers.
That's exactly true. Here's something interesting. I feel that 2020 has been an amazing awakening for white America, especially if it came to black. I just bought a building in Atlanta, Georgia, and I went to my Google. Google allows you to create a directory for your business, and they gave me the option to click if I was a black-owned business. Never had I seen that before. I remember in 1992 when I was unfortunately a participant. When I say participant, a person who had to share the Rodney King experience in Los Angeles. Black people was putting up signs, black owned, because they didn't want their business to be ripped apart or torn down. So now they say move forward in 2020, they have Google say, look, we want to recognize your business because it's black owned. What do you say about that, and what does that say about blacks finally being recognized for being entrepreneurs?
Well, how can I say this tactfully? One of the things, if you look historically at any so-called campaign that was created to help black people, if you really look at what that campaign did, the likelihood of them actually helping the black community or the black people they were trying to help is pretty close to nil. I've actually never known a campaign, or even, for example, when I saw the housing market rise up years ago, where they relaxed a lot of the requirements to purchase homes. And every black person was like, I'm getting in on this. And I said, wait, I'm not getting on this because I've never seen people just openly help black people that way. As soon as everybody jumped in on it, and that's when the market fell, and most of the people I knew lost their homes because I said, I've never seen a campaign where they just openly helped black people. And so when it comes to business as well, I'm really looking at this as how much are they helping or how much are they taking advantage of what's happening in the community to see if they could come in and just capitalize off of it. Say, for example, and I do want to say this because there's an article out there in the news about TikTok joining forces with Shopify to be able to come in and do something called a Shop Black Week. We had already did Shop Black Week the year before, and we made it go viral national, and they literally named their campaign Shop Black Week, but it really was just to get black people to sign up with Shopify.
And that's
takes a percentage of money that they would make. Yes.
Now let me talk about it. Let's back it a little bit. I understand that, you started in 2019, which is last year. You weren't the person that just jumped on the parade. You had a vision, and it got magnified, and because of COVID and Zoom, and we've all are. I think black people are more technology savvy than ever before in the history. Their phone has become more than just taking pictures and making phone calls and texting people. It actually has become the device that everybody uses as. It's their financial device. It creates financial literacy. Your phone can actually do your banking. Your phone can actually pay your bills. Your phone can actually order you food. And that has not always been the way it's been used in the past. So let's go back to 2019. Let's go back, Dr. Tillman. Before 2020, you had this was a major undertaking to say that. Everybody has a good idea. But when does a good idea become reality? Let's walk through those steps.
Well, what happened was I had a long history working in IT, as a matter of fact, from the DOS days. I literally worked all the way through IT. And so I really understood the power of technology and developing technology and how much technology can change and impact things. And so in doing that, I had to teach people how to not only build the technology, but then how do you get everybody to use it? Or if you build a website, how do you get people to come to the website? So I learned marketing in that sense. And I realized I had a natural gift, let's just say that, at marketing and getting things to go viral and getting things to go big. And I said, why don't I take this opportunity to see if I could just do this for my own people? Since I have this gift, why not use it? And so as I pull the team together, I was explaining to them, okay, I know there's been a lot of Black weeks here and Black restaurant weeks and buy Black, but we need every American to do this. And if we get every American to do it, now it becomes a movement and it becomes something that people look forward to and changes people's lives, impact the actual lives of individuals.
Right. And so now you got the emotion. Now you said IT and you went DOS, boy. That's the only thing older than DOS is Fortran. I went back to Fortran, so I'm old.
Okay, I'm not trying to age myself today. Okay, go ahead.
I was programming in Fortran, and so when you look at the putting it in position to be recognized nationally, because I always look at when you say it went viral, I always look at small ideas to become big ideas, and how do you get the word out? I guess that's what I'm saying at this point, Dr. Tillman.
So what I did is I understood the difference between the natural marketing in the corporate America as opposed to marketing to Black people. Right. And I know a lot of times when corporate America want to get the word out to Black people, they usually create alliances with churches, for example, in the community, because they understand churches have already built that relationship. Right. So what I decided to do is kind of ride on that ideal. Instead of just trying to do a lot of marketing in general, what we did is we just recruited organizations that had either small bases or large bases of memberships. So it could be the Sisters with Natural Hair. It could be, the National Black Chamber of Commerce. It could be, the Concerned Black Men of America. It could be any organization that had a base. And we explained to them what we were doing and saying, you join us and join the other people. So as we start to grow, we say 30 organizations come together that'll be historical. Right. And then it was like, oh my goodness, 70. Then it was like 100, and it just kept going. And so if you took the membership base, the followers, and whoever was involved socially with these organizations that represented 1.5 million people, right, that we could say, ask them if they could just ask all of their friends to support it. So it was more of a grassroots movement as opposed to trying to go from the top down. We went from the bottom up. Now, and that's why when TikTok did it, I knew by them just doing a bunch of press releases that it wasn't going to have the same impact.
Now, let's talk about more than just you. This is your vision, but there are organizations, there are businesses, there are vendors that are involved. How did you pull those people involved? How did you take a brand, an idea, and start getting them on board or being participants?
Well, the first thing was to come up with the platform, the technology platform in which we'll do it, because we had to have the way to implement it. So you have to have a system in place. So once we got that in place, we were able to get the message out. And the first thing we needed to do is to recruit the organizations, because that was what was going to give us the power. Once we got the organizations, then the next thing to do was who else will support this? That you don't necessarily have to be a business. You could just be a person that support it. Maybe bring on some of the politicians and other people that would just be in support of this. Then the last thing to do was to bring in the businesses, because in order to sell it to the business, you had to be able to have something they could buy into. Right. And then the last piece of that was the media piece. How do we make it go viral? Right. So it was a strategic thing, starting with shares online, starting with press, allowing the press to build, a lot of interviews, a lot of podcasts. And then once one picked it up, another picked it up. And as far as what we know, at least 1,000 entities covered this, from country western stations to Latino, Latin radio, television. Basically, I can't think of anybody who didn't cover the story. It was pretty powerful. Now, were you ready to be the face of the brand? No, actually, if you look at the early press, I tried to leave my name out of it because what I find is a lot of times I know. I'm just saying, were you ready? I know my question was that. Well, I wasn't, but were you ready to be? Because you're the face now. You're right, correct? Well, I actually wish I could not be the face, to be honest with you. But the only reason I do is because I realized that somebody has to be accountable. And as it started to get really, really big, I knew somebody had to be accountable for all the negative. Because as soon as you make it big enough, then the negatives start to come in as well. What's wrong with this campaign? And why is it not okay to do this? Which to this day, I still don't understand how you can make something negative out of supporting a Black business. But of course, I had to come out front and address those issues. Let me ask you this. What pushback did you get? I'm just hearing that statement you just said. So was there pushback? Was there like, why are you doing this? Why, Black people are Black people. They unorganized. A lot of negative things come out of when you start trying to do business with Black people. They're stereotypical and some is reality. Talk to us about that. Well, it depends on what side you were looking at it from. Just take it to the Black Lives Matter movement, for example. How can just saying a Black life matters can be a negative thing to anybody, right? We just want to say we matter. But then some people say, well, that's not right. You can't say that. And so they turn it into a negative. So it's the same thing as, will you just take time to support a Black business? Because what even Black people don't understand is white people have mastered the ideal of white being normal. So if you go to a white business or spend with a white business, business, that's considered what I do normally. And so if I ask you to do something with a Black business, now it's a special, diversification program or outreach program. Let's do something different, as opposed to it just being normal. And so we realized with that ideal, we had to create it as a special thing. Let's make it special. Let's go ahead and, support African-American businesses. And so, and I'm trying to not interchange, so I want to say Black businesses. So with Black businesses, people would just, the word Black in and of itself would make you say, well, why a Black business and why can't we support it? And this has to be a racist movement. And it just became every negative connotation. So even recently I looked online and a lot of Black people even feel, well, why can't we shop Black every day? So we're not saying don't shop Black every day. Like when you say Black Lives Matter, we're not saying other lives don't matter. We're just saying this week, let's try to make history. Let's try to infuse a lot of money into the community and get everybody also to support Black businesses, and everybody that's not Black to also support Black businesses. So that way we can make a difference, because the point is that a lot of people are going to start spending money on Black Friday to the point where they'll literally almost kill themselves trying to give that money away. So we were trying to capture that money the week before they were going to go out and start giving it away for the holiday season. So if we have it happen the week before and you can see all of the toys and the gifts and the clothes and jewelry items and all those things, then you say, oh, okay, now I kind of know where I'm going to get my Christmas items from and not just support this week. So that's a masterful way we're trying to get you to look at it as a normal thing.
Well, let's talk about which annoys me from the standpoint of what you were saying. Not saying what you were saying, but like American Express. American Express has made a brand of pushing small businesses, entrepreneurs, spend your money with small business, doing the Black Friday run for years, for at least the last 10 years, I can accurately say. And you're just saying, look, nobody gave any pushback to American Express when they was doing it. Now you're doing the same thing with Black businesses, talking about support, same thing that American Express has been saying for years. But now you're getting pushback. So why do you have to shop in a Black business? Because Black businesses need recognition. I remember when I started the Neighborhood Awards, one of the reasons I started was just to give Black business recognition in the community. Because a lot of Black businesses are successful in the Black community, but we'll get in our car and drive out of the Black neighborhood and support a business that doesn't really function or bring revenue back into your community, which means that people who work and live in your community have to go outside of the community to live, when if you were spending your money within the community, guess what? They wouldn't have to drive so far, and they would build a better tax-paying opportunities. The schools would get better, and that's basically what you're saying now with the Shop Black Week. And that's why it ends on November 27th. That day, Black Friday. Black people doing their thing on a Black Friday on Black Shop Week.
So let me just address one of the things that you said. One of the things that you said is that when other people come in, like when TikTok came in or Walmart is coming in and doing something, Amazon is doing something, and they're all trying to do something for the Black community, you rarely see anybody say anything negative about it. But as soon as you do a do for self or save ourselves type of campaign, it's like, well, what are you doing? Well, we need to understand and know more about what you're doing, because we have never been given permission to save ourselves. We've always had to have help. You come help us and we have a handout and we get in line and we do that. But if you say, no, we want to help ourselves, then now that becomes a problem and people look at it a little differently. So that actually has been a longstanding issue for a lot of things that we do.
Well, guess what? You seem like a very powerful person. You seem like you're articulate. You're Dr. Tillman. When I look at the fact you said, Rashawn, I'm interviewing you the day before your launch. What makes it so? What is the launch process? Making sure the technology is there, all the accounts that are entrepreneurs that say they want to be a participant, and making sure the bandwidth is there so the site won't crash. What makes it busy for you before the launch?
Wow. It's still the same thing. We still have to do a lot of the grassroots things. We've got to reach out one-on-one to all of the organization leads, all of the media that we get. There's a lot of interviews, as you can see in the process. We're talking about radio, television, podcasts, newspapers, blogs, magazines, anything that you could think of. We're trying to get the word out so we reach every audience that we can. And we're trying to make sure everybody understands what the ask is. Because I even had someone recently change the whole thing when they wrote the article to say, we were asking people to only support us or to black out these days and all this other stuff. And we're not asking you to do anything but a simple ask. Just make sure you make at least one purchase from a Black business. And then we're asking you to hashtag Shop Black Week after you make that purchase. And then tell them, hey, I made a purchase from Incomparable, for example, is one of the businesses that's listed, which is a Black doctor-owned watch company, jewelry company, the only one in America out of Houston, Texas. That's why I mentioned him. And so one of the things we're doing is saying, hey, if you're going to get a nice gift for somebody, why don't you do that? I got this. Take a picture of it, hashtag, and let everybody know where you got it from. So now they know, oh, I can go there and get a watch. So it helps spread the word that way as well.
Okay, it ends on Friday, Black Friday, November 27th. What happens after that?
Well, one of the things that we're also doing is in conjunction with this week, we're also starting to sponsor something called the All Black Home Shopping Experience.
Oh, okay, now. I've been waiting on this now.
Okay, I was going to get to it, which is a television show that spotlights a lot of the businesses that we have so that after the week is over, you're talking about now we're doing a special holiday edition. What kind of gifts can I, purchase? And then after that, we can focus, if it's Mother's Day, what kind of gifts can we get for Mother's Day? Or if it's just any other day, what are the restaurants that you can support? So we're also trying to kind of move it past Shop Black Week. Now you're thinking more, okay, let me be more conscious of a Black business, but then where do I find them? Where do I go? Last year, there was a big debate online with white financial professionals to say, what would happen if white people and Black people came together and all supported Black businesses? What would happen if it's only for a week, if it went beyond the week and they did the whole thing? And one of the experts said that's the problem. If it's just for a week, how impactful can it be? It needs to go beyond a week. But I understand that a week actually could change a lot of people's lives, to be honest with you. But if you can go in and at least meet that person, eat at that restaurant, you can say, now I have a regular restaurant I can eat at. So that's the point, is just to get you started. But if you don't create it and make some type of gimmicky, I didn't want to use that word, but some kind of gimmick out of it, you won't be able to get the kind of hype behind it like I did. So I knew I had to have a gimmick in order to get the word out.
That I would, now you kind of threw it out there. I got excited. We're talking about the shopping channel. Now, you say the word channel. Is it something that's going to happen? Is it still in theory? Is it streaming? Is it on cable? Talk to us about that, because I've been waiting on that. I think it's long overdue. Black people love to shop. All people love to shop. But a channel, I thought BET should have done it. I thought TV One should have done it. Now you just threw it out, got Rushion McDonald excited. Tell us more detail about that. More detail.
So it's actually a television show. It's not an actual channel. So we are partnering with other channels who will be streaming it. I should have had it in front of me right now to better tell you, but you can go to shopblackweek.org and we'll have that information for you. But what we wanted to do is have it broadcast live as well as stream, as well as on our online, so that no matter where you go and you can find that information and people can start to share that information as well. And then hopefully we'll get to the point where we got a whole season together and then we can get it on bigger platforms. So it's going to kind of almost mimic, but in a different way, because we're trying to infuse a lot of things together. But if you remember the show that T-Pain did, we went around the country and spotlighted some of the Black businesses. I thought that was a very powerful thing to do. But you only got 3 Black businesses that episode that could really kind of get that focus. And of course, with Killer Mike, they kind of did something for Netflix where he did it. So all of us coming together is kind of bringing a little bit more attention to the business world. But just because that's my gift of how I make things go viral, understanding that if you highlight the magnitude of the important things we're done, and just the first episode will show you that we're doing big things, and that there's some amazing things that you can get that you can't even find anywhere else inside or outside of the Black community that we have to offer. And so you highlight those things and make people more aware, and then now you can start to focus and branch out and bring more and more attention to more and more businesses.
Well, she's Dr. Carla Tillman. She is the National Director of the Shop Black Week campaign. It starts November 20th, ends on Black Friday. Black Friday is November 27th. And thank you.
For 2020.
For 2020. Because we're going to have a 2021. And so...
Well, because if they see this after this, I want them to know it will be the Friday before Black Friday, and then it ends on Black Friday. Thanks a lot. Keep going.
Oh, no. Say it out. Articulate it. Now, make sure everybody knows that you're the national director. The Shop Black Week campaign is.
It's November 20th to the 27th in the year of 2020. And each year it will be the Friday before and then end on Black Friday each year.
Okay, cool. You couldn't have said it any better. Thank you for coming on Money Making Conversations. And I will put it in my social media, put it in my newsletter, because again, you are the face of a brand that's growing and this brand that's definitely needed. And I appreciate and respect the fact that, sometimes when you come up with a good idea, people push back on you. And it's when you push through the negative spirit of people go, why are you doing that? And I'm sure you got a lot of that. And that's not ever going to go to a level that you expect. And guess what? You're changing lives, because guess what? Those businesses that need your support, they need advertising, don't have advertising dollars. And the fact you're doing in the year of COVID, and we know Black businesses have been affected more than any business. They didn't get PPP loans. A lot of things didn't happen for Black businesses that happened for general market businesses. Because of your program, it did not go away. It was launched in 2019, and now it's going strong in 2020. And it will always be the Black Friday, which after Thanksgiving, every year moving forward. Correct? Did I get it right that time?
Yes. The Friday before Black Friday, ending on Black Friday.
There you go. I want to make sure I got it. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. Keep winning, okay?
I appreciate you having me on. I really do.
Bye-bye. Hi, if you want to hear more interviews on Money Making Conversation, please go to moneymakingconversation.com. I'm Rushion McDonald. I'm your host.